Amanda from Home Designs by Amanda, and today we're going to make this card. I have most of the stuff all cut out here and ready to go. I have a white card base that we're going to put it on, and that is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then we're also going to have a piece of Night of Navy cardstock, and that is cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4, and then a white piece of cardstock, and that's cut at 3 3/4 by 5, and then we have two circles cut out. I use a 2-inch punch, but you could always use a framelit if you need to, if you don't have a punch. And then one out of the Night of Navy and one out of a sparkly silver paper. This is not the Stampin' Up! Paper, but we do have some glimmer paper, and that'll be what I'll link in the corresponding blog post. All these dimensions will be there. This piece of, I didn't actually measure it, I just kind of cut it. It is 1.5 inches by, let me check here, by 3. Okay, it's 1.5 by 3. And it's a piece of designer series paper. It's got the ice cream cones on the back. So it would be the Cool Treats designer series paper. We're going to use the side that look kind of like suns for this. So with this card, I was working on it the other day, and it was kind of like, it wasn't coming together quite how I imagined it in my head, but today I was working on it this morning before I got started working on the video, and I was like, oh, it came together so much better taking like a break from it. And we also need a piece of white scrap cardstock. I have some circles that I had cut out, so we're gonna take our Sprinkles of Life stamp set. That's the stamp set we're going to use for the cloud, and that's the only stamp we use out of it. Oh no, the sentiment's in there as well. So the sentiment and the cloud come from the Sprinkles of Life stamp set, and then there's the corresponding punch that goes with it that we're going to punch our cloud out with. And this one's the Tree Builder punch. So let's get started on our assembly. What I did was, since the white is covering the Night of Navy cardstock like that, I cut my piece of blue cardstock right out of it. I had enough space with my punch that I was gonna have enough of a border left without seeing that I got it punched out. It would work even better if you have the framelit. You could put it over more in the middle to make sure that you don't get into your base there. And I think since I have the space, before I put this on the card, I'm going to punch another one just for another project down the road, just to kind of have it on hand. So there we go. So now I have an extra Night of Navy circle for some time. What I'm going to do is, first off, I'm going to go ahead and down here in the corner, I know that's where I'm going to want my sentiment, so I'm going to stamp that first. I got my Stampin' Pearson that out. I'm using Night of Navy ink for this card, and I'm going to just ink up my sentiment, and the sentiment is, every cloud has a silver lining. You just have to look up to see it. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp that down here in this corner. And there we go. Okay, so that is pretty much that. So we can go ahead and let's adhere some of this stuff together. I'm going to start with this, and you put it on, so it's just inside, so you know that you're not going to have any on your oh, what is that, border. Oh, I can't think right now. And then I'm going to just line this up so that I have an even amount. It's about 1/8 of an inch border around there. I like changing up my border sizes on my cards, and I really kind of like how it looks with just a small border, especially for this one. And then we're going to go ahead and put that on our card base. Just flatten out our card base. Just do some okay, and then we're going to line this up on our card base, and so there's that part. And then we have our other pieces that are already cut out here for us. We have the blue and the silver, and I kind of overlapped them like that a little bit, so we can go ahead and just put those together like that. Okay, and then around this, I have like a case and a half at least of this paper, but if I don't have to mess up one, I try not to. So I already had a piece that was ready to go, so I'm going to use that. I'm taking my Night of Navy again, and I liked the idea of, instead of leaving it straight like this, having a little bit of the shading in there, because it is like the silver lining thing, so the sun's peeking through from the darker sky. And I'm going to take my dauber here, what I use for daubing, make sure I got it, and then I tried not to go in too far with it or make it too dark. I just wanted it to look more of a light blue. This one's getting a little darker. That's okay. Light it out maybe as we get along here. So there's that, and then we can go ahead and let's go ahead and put this and the other two on our card base. We'll get this thing all assembled here. Okay, so the only thing we have left now to add to the front is our cloud. And you could do this, it is a photopolymer stamp, because it's a photopolymer stamp set, so I'm going to need my piercing that back here. And you could either, depending on how you want to do this, you could cut out the cloud first and then try and line it up through the photopolymer stamp, or you could cut it, you could stamp it first and then try to cut it. Let me make sure, I'm going to double check my shirt. Okay, it does work. I think I am going to, let's try it with stamping it second. I'm gonna do that, just because I'm not sure. I don't remember what I did on the other one, because I did the cloud the other day. And using a smaller piece is a little harder to line up in the stamp. I did get a raindrop too. We could make it blue and put it underneath if we wanted to. But I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to go ahead and put that off to the side. So I'm going to ink this up with Night of Navy. And I'm going to do two things with this. Since I want the front, I want it full strength, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp this with that. But then on the inside, I did some clouds on the inside, and I was doing second generation on the inside. So once I stamp it on here, I'm going to do the second generation on the inside. Okay, let me see if I can line this up pretty good. Hopefully that was close. Okay. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp the inside here. And then I'm going to put a mask over it. Where did it go? Some days it's just like you lose everything, no matter what you do. I have a mask here. I have a mask. Oops. Oh, something on it. And I'm going to put it right over this one. And with my third generation, I'm going to go ahead. Night of Navy is pretty dark, so you can get 3 generations out of it. I'm going to go ahead and put a background cloud in there. Here we go. So there's and on the inside, since we have it open and I'm already working on it, I'm going to go ahead and do another one over here. Another set kind of like that. Over on this side of the inside. Okay, and then I'll stamp that off first. And then I'll do the inside. I think I'm going to come down a little bit. Right there. Put on my mask. And do my third generation one here. Let's put this one. I like how I did the inside of this one. Okay, I brought it over. Up and over a little bit. So there we go. There's that. Get the mask off there. And there we have the inside of our card all done too. So now we're going to just take our cloud with Stampin' Dimensionals 2, I believe it was. Oh, I used a strip on that one. Let's do 3 on this one. Over our card, we have our silver lining. I liked that. Okay, and that is it. A pretty simple card. I liked how it came together after I let it sit for a little bit. And I hope you enjoyed creating that with me today. And I hope that you'll come back again soon to see what else we have going on. Don't forget that I do have this, all of the information will be on a corresponding blog post linked down below in the description box. I hope you enjoyed watching this and that you'll come back again soon. Thanks!